Thanks for tuning into GVAF Radio Productions. This is David the Reverend Brownoni, and I just wanted to go ahead and do just a little bit of kind of like a mission statement, or kind of give people an idea of what I'm doing right now. I was doing a podcast that was mostly music involved, but due to some DCMA strikes, I can no longer do that. That doesn't mean that I won't be returning to that format in the future. It's just that right now I can't do what I want to do with it. So I've shifted my focus to doing readings. And these have been really good for me because they've allowed me to do pretty much the only thing I'm really good at, which is speaking. And I know that's kind of a joke. I do have other qualities, but I only really feel good if I'm doing music or talking smack into a live microphone, and that's what I'm doing right now. So if you've been a longtime listener and you're used to those podcasts, I'm sorry, but they're not going to come back the way they were. It's going to be something different later on. And right now I'm just doing a lot of readings, poetry, monologues, things that I get to use my voice with. One of the other things I'm doing is I am doing a series called Confessions. And what these are is I am talking about my mental health. I'm talking about what I went through, what my afflictions are, and also talking about how I'm pretty much grabbing that bastard by the neck and trying to subdue it and becoming a better person. I'm trying to heal. There's been a lot of trauma in my life, and it's not easy dealing with these things, but I found that doing these self-interviews has been helping me heal. There's also been a lot of therapy. There's been medications that I'm taking, and I'm currently getting zeroed in, and they are working for me for the most part. Still not completely, like I said, we're getting them dialed in, so there's still some days where I'm not quite as coherent as I should be, or there are still days where the anxiety hits and I'm unable to do anything, but I'm getting better. But that's not why you tuned in. I thought I should address a couple things, a few elephants in the room. One of those being my use of AI. I do use AI both in my recording. I'm using something called NVIDIA Broadcasting, which is helping to kind of curtail a lot of the background noise that happens, because I'm not currently in my own home. I'm staying with friends, and I have an imperfect recording situation. So I'm doing everything I can to alleviate a lot of that while still being able to record, to do things that I like to do. Thankfully, my friends that I'm living with, who are pretty much family, have been allowing me and been very, very supportive in this. So, bless them. But the other AI I've been using is AI-generated art and video. I know that's kind of still a bit of a hot subject, and I have no problem with it. But the reason I'm using it is because, one, it's cheap. And two, I don't really have access to artists right now to do the art that I need. I'm not an artist myself. I can't even draw flies, after a night of Taco Bell, if that makes any sense. Good for you if you got the joke. But I'm using them right now to get my content out there. Later on, once I can afford it, because I am still very much below the poverty line. So getting good art that I can afford is unattainable. But with AI, I can do that. Now, it's not to say that I'm not going to go back to artists. Like I said, I will do that eventually. But right now, due to also being a bit of a cynic, I was hooked up with an artist who was doing some work for me, but due to them stiffing me on a couple pieces, I will no longer be giving them any money that I get for art. I'm not going to name names, and we discussed it. It's done. Moving on. So there's that aspect of it. And I've noticed that during the last couple of months of just using these prompts, I've gotten what I need. It's not perfect, obviously. But for someone like me where I'm at, it's absolutely fantastic. So, I hope that everyone understands why I'm doing this. I hope you understand why I have to use these AI-generated art assets. It's not to say that I'm going to replace artists. I don't think artists can ever be replaced. It's the same thing as I'm using Google Gemini for a lot of my script writing. And now I don't use it to generate my scripts. I write the scripts myself. I just use it to go through and help me format it. Sometimes it actually helped me, especially with the confessions. It actually brought up a couple of questions that I didn't even think about asking myself. So that was kind of good, but these are tools, and I see them as tools. I don't see them as a quick fix. I see them mostly just like anything else. I use it just like I would use my microphone, like I would use my program. I use Reaper for recording for the most part. I use a Zoom Handy recorder every so often for some of the poems I do. And it has been helping me. But one of the things that helps me out the most with this is the recording has been helping my mental health. The AI art generation has been helping my mental health because I've been able to generate some things. I've been able to visualize a lot of my thoughts now. And I find it helpful. If you have some suggestions or anything else about that, why don't you put them in the comments? I would love to start a conversation about AI tools because I do think as a creative, they are perfect for what I do. Not to say that AI is perfect. Obviously, if you look at the hands of any generated art, I mean, there's still sometimes I look at some things I've generated and we're going, what the hell is that? But it's an imperfect tool. But, a tool is a tool is a tool. I mean, if you have a hammer, you're going to build a wall, get a hammer. If you've got to cut wood, get a saw. You don't just use a hammer to cut the lumber. This is the way it is. That's the way I feel about it. So that's what this is. If you think this is a great idea, let me know why. If you use AI yourself, tell me how you use it. I would love some hints. I would love to know what programs you use. Like for me, I use Pholar.com for a lot of my art generation. Do you have one that you use? Do you have one that you like? Are you a ChatGPT person? How's that work out for you? Let's have the conversation. Let's open this up a little bit. Let's stop just saying just because it's computer generated that it's automatically bad. I don't think it is. Because any tool that helps you get through something, like with me, like I use this as a therapeutic tool on top of my therapy, on top of my medication, on top of my mindfulness. But what do you use? Let me know. And again, thank you for listening. And this is David, the Reverend Brownoni. And I'm signing off.